Why is attention so important?
So why is intention so important? Any ideas? Why bother going to the mental gym for a workout for 2 hours? Why bother? It's kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you're untrained. It makes you feel stupid. That you can't do it. Why do we bother with awareness? What's the big deal? Nobody has any clue. Anybody? Yes?
Helps you make better decisions in the future.
Okay.
You have the ability to recognize and then make choices.
There you go. Good answer. Someone who's been in class. So the idea is that right now, let me put it this way. Did anyone hear about that story of that container ship that lost a container full of rubber duckies? Is that a myth, or does that really happen? Like a big container ship, one of the containers fell off and it was filled with like rubber duckies from the yellow rubber ducky that we all had in the bathtub? It did happen. It did. What was it, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while back.
Oh, it's not an urban myth, so it's real. So all these rubber duckies spill out into the Pacific Ocean. It's coming from China, obviously, right? The rubber duckies are made in China. The container falls off somehow. The container spills open, and all the rubber duckies spill out. And like 6 months later, they wind up on the shore of Alaska. I don't know if this is true, so I don't know. But you get my drift. 6 months later, rubber ducky winds up on the shore of Seattle and Alaska. And we're all the rubber ducky. There's been a massive current that has swept you away. And you're just floating on the surface of this current like a rubber ducky. And it's going to take you where it's going to take you. And from a Buddhist perspective, it's not just this life. That current has been taking you since beginningless time, countless lives. A little rubber ducky, floating on the current of desire, floating on the current of anger, floating on the current of prejudice. And once in a while you get to make a choice, but mostly you're just compelled. That's what Freud would call unconsciousness. Mostly we're living unconsciously. And you only need to do like 6 sessions of therapy to realize how that's effing up your life. Like catastrophically. The amount of inawareness, the amount of unconsciousness, the amount of unresolved forces in your unconscious that are beyond your control, that are compelling you to act in certain ways that only reinforce certain outcomes that you've already experienced again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Pretty much whatever happened to you in childhood, whatever it was that you felt happened to you in childhood, if you're not careful, the waves of your mind will carry you continually into that experience. If you felt abandoned, if you felt deprived, if you felt alone, if you felt incompetent, if you felt no one cared, if you felt like you lived in an untrustworthy world, if you felt unsafe, those are the currents of your mind that are carrying you beyond your control to an inevitable experience repeatedly. Until someone tells you, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be this way, that you can get a grip, that you can direct consciously, volitionally, the development of your mind. So now think of a little seed in your backyard that you planted. First you clear the brush, you pull out the weeds, you fertilize the soil, you find some beautiful lemon seed that's organic from Greece, you plant it in the soil, you know exactly how much water, how much space from the next plant, and continually, mindfully, you cultivate that seed with presence, with understanding. Right? The lemon seed to become a lemon tree doesn't need the same as a cactus plant or a rose. So you have discrimination, and you have mindfulness, and you have love, and you cultivate that seed. And you shape its development, and you see it grow. And that seed grows to a tree, and that tree bears fruit. And that's the analogy, at least one of them, of what we can do with our mind. What we can do with our evolution. Our evolution can be consciously directed. We don't have to be a rubber ducky on the waves of trauma. We can grow into an amazing creature. We have an amazing potential, and we can grow into amazing beings, and the nervous system is flexible. It just needs certain causes and conditions. One of them is mindfulness. On the basis of mindfulness, then you have what's called choice. So without the space to recognize the current, then you can't make a different choice. You're just compelled. But if there's spaciousness, then you can see the current, and you can resist the urge of being pushed by the current, and you can make an opposite choice. If you make that opposite choice once, probably no big deal. It would be the same as watering that seed once. But cultivation, continual presence, continual sensitivity, continual understanding can take that wave into a completely different direction.